Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 179 of a year change. Today we're going to look at a new food. Not necessarily new, but I feel like it's a bit cheap, actually. It's kind of hard to explain. I've been trying to find something that's going to sort of fit in with what we've been talking about with the good fats and the bad fats and plant sources versus meat sources and all the other stuff. And this was sort of always in the forefront, but because we've already talked about it and mentioned it, it doesn't feel like it's the same sort of, oh, this is something new and exciting to try. So, basically, all it is this, an avocado. Something the majority of you probably have already tried one of these. The main reason why I decided to pick this is because when we were talking about the different fat sources, this always comes up as, a source of healthy fat because it's a plant source. And the vast majority of its calories come from actual fat. Something like 2/3 or 3/4 of its calories are fat. So for something like this, I thought, oh, well, this would sort of fit in with what we've been doing, and it's something that's relatively new, but we haven't really, I don't know. It feels like I'm just there. This is a brand new food no one's ever seen before. And I know that's not really the case. I mean, pickles weren't really something brand new. Dates weren't something brand new, and we will get back to those, but just in sort of keeping with what we've been doing over the past couple of weeks, I thought that this was a good fit. So, basically, as I say, the vast majority of its calories come from fat, but they're the good fats, they're the mono and polyunsaturated fats, and I'm trying to think of the actual numbers, and when you look at, I guess, nutrition in general with this, when it comes to the amount of fats that are in it, it's comparable to I was going to say, no, that was right, salmon. It's comparable to salmon when you're looking at, I mean, salmon obviously is going to have, a bunch of different things in there. It has a lot more protein, for one. It's got about 10 times as much protein. This does have a lot more fiber in it, though. But just to sort of give you an idea, because we always hear, oh, well, fish is healthy for fatty acids and omega acids or omega-6 fatty acids. There we go. And so are these. So, I really don't have a lot to go on with this because, to be quite honest, I may have tried guacamole once, but I've never actually had just a plain avocado. So I've cut this one open. I know you can't see it, but, well, you might be able to. There's a little line there. I've cut that open. There's a huge pit inside, so it's fairly easy to just go whoop, all the way around. It does oxidize fairly quickly, though, because there's now a big black line running all the way down. So, I've prepared one earlier. So, if we just go, we can twist it and go, boop. This should open up. There we go. And there's the pit inside. As I say, it's fairly easy to sort of cut open. But it smells like a mixture of cucumber and grass. Like lawn. Yeah, obviously don't eat the pit, but it's fairly easy to cut open. But as you can see, it's kind of gooey. It's not crunchy like a cucumber would be, but I think and it's very soft and squishy and spongy. But the majority of the calories that come from this are from, I think, polyunsaturated fats, which are in omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 was another one that I saw in there. Basically, the reason why I'm sort of showing this is that, I mean, if we're looking towards, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If we're looking at adding in more healthy fat sources, and getting away from the unhealthy fat sources, this is probably a good way to go. If you're looking to try something new, I don't know how many of you are actually going to enjoy it. There are some people, I know someone who just absolutely despises cucumbers, so I'm assuming that this is going to taste similar to it. Anyway, I have a little spoon. I'm going to try one because, as I say, aside from, and I don't even remember if I ever had guacamole. I probably have. It's a Mexican food, and Mexican food's really, really good. But I think they mix in a bunch of other things in there with it and try to I don't even know what I'm trying to say. This is not working out well at all, is it? It's just, watch me try to eat an avocado. This is actually a regular size spoon. I'm huge. So, anyway, Oh, actually, look, it's really look, it's really really soft as well. One thing I did notice that when I was cutting into it, and trying to do this now, is that there's like it's not really a juice from it like you would normally get. It's very milky around there. That's just from scooping it out. So I will try a little piece so that I don't just take a big mouthful and go hump hump while we're talking back and forth, and try to go from there. Okay, it's actually pretty good. How would I describe that? It tastes like an avocado. Um, it does have that. It doesn't have a texture of cucumber at all. But it's got a. It has a familiar taste. I just can't put my finger on what it is. And no, not familiar as in avocado. Um, it tastes like something that I've had before. No, not avocado. Something different. Another type of fruit or vegetable. Num num num. It's almost like a. I want to say squash, but that doesn't sound right. Because it's not exactly sweet, but it doesn't have that squashy, pumpkin-y flavor, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever, which I highly doubt. But anyway, yeah, that is an avocado. As I said, when you're looking at the different fatty acids, because that's really all that I was concentrating on when I was trying to find it, because when I'm trying to find something like nuts are really, really high in calories. These are fairly high in calories as well. But again, they're roughly, if you compare this to salmon, you're going to see a lot of similarities in there. Aside from things like fat content and things like that, just caloric content, the different vitamins and everything else that go in there, like you're going to get some things from this that you won't get from salmon, and something from salmon that you won't get from this, obviously. But just if I'm trying to compare this to a meat source, which, yeah, fish is, I know fish isn't technically considered meat to some people, but if you're trying to compare the two, that's the closest I could find. I was going to try to do it starting with tuna at first, but tuna has zero fat in it at all, and really not a lot of things going for it. So that's why I went for salmon instead. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but we know that there's stuff in there that's good, so I figured that's a good way to compare it. I will do this one instead of the other one because the other one's now the other half is now mangled, and this one is nice and neat and tidy with a little pit inside of it. Although technically this is a berry because it has one seed and it's inside and it's surrounded by flesh. So neat. We talked about berries a while ago. Anyway, as I say, I know I'm going to keep repeating myself. If you're looking for more protein, and eventually once we start looking at that, then yes, you would want to lean more towards the fish. Meat is going to have much more protein than any vegetable does. But when you're looking towards fiber, which we're also going to be looking for, this has quite a bit. This actually, obviously surpasses meat because meat doesn't have a lot of fiber in it. But again, the key thing is to sort of mix and match, not to just say, well, this is the one thing I'm going to get so that I can get all the fatty acids that I need. No, you need to sort of mix and match in a bunch of other things. With these, I mean, obviously you can eat it raw. Whoa! I almost dropped it on the floor. You can eat these raw. You can make guacamole out of it. I'm sure that there are a number of different things that you can do with it. I assume that you can fry it up and cook it, mix it in with everything else. It's very slippery. But if you're just looking to try something different, then I would recommend those. You can recommend these. Then you should recommend these for people. I kind of want to take that pit out, but I'm thinking it's going to go boink and fly all over the place because it's very, very slippery, and I highly doubt I can hang on to it. So I'll leave it in there because, actually, you know what I could do is scrape off all the excess so it looks nice and presentable. It really is, sort of waxy. Not like that you're eating a candle or something, but just the texture of it is a little different than you would expect from a fruit or vegetable. And like I say, it's a berry. But yeah, there's like a soft, I'm going to see if I can, we'll use this one. This one's nice and neat and tidy. We'll keep that. But this one, we're going to do something gross and see if I can, that's going to fly everywhere if I do that. I was going to just kind of squeeze it. But yeah, it's not going to work. But if you look, it goes, it's kind of squishy, and that doesn't help you at all, does it? It's got the actually, you know what? It has the same texture as I would say butter, like hard butter. It doesn't taste like butter. I'm trying to think of what it tastes like, and it's going to drive me nuts. And I know as soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to go, that's what it tastes like. So the best thing I can do is suggest that you go and you buy one. Just get one to start with if you've never tried it before. But it's interesting anyway. It's not that bad, and you can eat pretty much the entire thing, except for the pit, of course, because that would be bad. Whoa, and people are crashing all over the place. Anyway, I don't have a lot to tell you on this one. I didn't really I'm trying to find something that sort of fits in with what we're doing, and although it was one of those things that sort of kept popping up with the healthy fats, like the unsaturated fats and things like that. I mean, there's not really one thing that I could say, oh, well, if you do this is the main one that you want to go to for something like this. I mean, we all know about the fish thing if you're going to be going after that. But for those of you out there that are going, no, I can't eat fish and I can't eat meat because it's very, very bad, this is probably a very good source for you. But again, there are very few of us that got the way we are on a vegan diet. It just doesn't really happen. Vegetarian, if you're one of those people that are thinking, oh, well, I'm still vegetarian even though I eat tons and tons of cheese and bacon is vegetarian, right? I think that's probably right. But for the vast majority of us, I certainly couldn't get to 325 pounds just by being a vegetarian. It does not happen. You simply I don't even know what you would need to eat at that stage just to like continuously gain and not do much of anything. Anyway, I thought that it fit well with what we've been doing. As I say, it feels like it's a little bit of a cheat because it's not anything that's really brand new that you can say, oh, well, no one's ever tried that before. I will go and I'll try that. But it is something that maybe you haven't tried or that you have had in the past and just sort of never really got again. But again, we're sort of broadening our horizons and opening up and trying to new things. Yes, we need to try to new all the time. Be trying to new. Then yeah, it sort of fits. Anyway, this is a really shit video, isn't it? I'm sorry, but I should be providing a lot more nutritional information on there. But aside really from the fats that are in there, actually I can give you some numbers because I based this on 100 grams, which I think is probably roughly one of these, maybe a little bit less if you take out the pit and everything else. And there are some saturated fats in there as well, some of the unhealthy ones that we were looking at, but there aren't really a lot. Out of all the fat that's in there, I think I want to say 2 grams of saturated fat, and then the rest is like 14 grams in total of fat. Now, I know you're thinking, wait, that's not what you said. You said 2/3. The number of calories come from fat, but the actual amount of fat that's in there for 100 grams is somewhere around 15 grams of fat. Out of that, about 2 grams are saturated, which are not great, but we still need them, so it's okay. And then the rest are the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, and then it breaks it down again into the omega-3, which I want to say is 1%, and then omega-6, which is a bigger percent. The 1% just sticks in my head because that's what you usually hear is omega-3. The omega-6 and then the omega-9, and I don't remember what that was. But those were the 2 big ones, where the 6, I think, was out front, and then the 9, not that it matters. It's still a polyunsaturated fat, so you're okay. It's a healthy fat, and if you're going to sort of get calories from fat, this is probably a better way to do it. Again, we can't cut out the saturated fat entirely. We still need some of it. And if you are cutting back on it, it needs to be replaced with the unsaturated fats. You can't just say, well, I'm going to cut things out entirely. It needs to be replaced with something because it's not healthy otherwise. So this is a good replacement. When you cut all the fat off of a pork chop, for example, and you go, there we go, I've cut away as much fat as I possibly can, so I'm cutting way back on that, then add in some more vegetables to try to get some of the other fats in there, or, then the next day have fish or something. We need to replace those. We still need to keep it around 30% in total for fat. Cutting back your saturated fats is always good, but we still need that 30%. So you've got to make up the number somewhere. The best way to do that is the unsaturated stuff. So we did talk about that again, or we did talk about that before. Again, we're going to have deja vu in 3 days' time. So anyway, sorry for the bit of a scattered video again, although I didn't choke on nothing and almost die, so at least that's a plus. But it's something to try. I know it's... Well, let's see if we can put these back together again. Boop, boop, boop. By the way, a little bit of interesting trivia. The name avocado, actually, the word itself translates from like 4 or 5 different languages and goes all the way back. And they think it might actually be, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, from an old word meaning testicle. So there you go. Unless it belongs to Kermit, I don't think that it's accurate. But, well, maybe if you went, no, anyway. We won't make this turn weird. But anyway, that's where it comes from. So you can look that up too. But, see, look, it's completely sealed. There, try that again. It's completely sealed. And you could never tell. Shit, it's not matching up. Anyway, when you cut them open, I just took a large knife and just went all the way around it. It's really easy. It looks really tough just because it's got like a leathery, dinosaur-y skin on it. But it's surprisingly easy to cut. It cuts a lot like butter would be as well. But that's really the best way I can sort of describe the texture is, waxy or buttery. I still can't really give you an accurate representation of what it tastes like because it smells, I want to say earthy, which doesn't help you at all. And it's going to drive me nuts. As soon as I figure out what it is, though, I'll update the description maybe. But trying to describe the flavor it's something familiar, but I don't know what it is. But it's good. It actually tastes pretty good. So it's not just going to be one of those weird ones where you think, oh, it's an acquired taste. No, it's pretty good right off the hop. So anyway, go in, grab one, and depending on when they're in season, I don't know when the season is for these. Generally, I think you can get them pretty much anytime. I hope. I might be wrong, and you might not be able to get them anywhere. But it's something new to try anyway. And although you can prepare it different ways, you can also just eat it raw. So there we go. A little bit of extra information. But for right now, I'm going to leave this one here. I feel like I've sort of cheated you out of stuff because it's not anything spectacular. And it's one of those things that we talked about for the past couple of weeks anyway. And it's fairly common, but maybe you've never tried one. I hadn't, so there we go. And it's really driving me nuts now because I can't remember if I've actually tried guacamole. Pretty sure that I have at some point. Maybe that's why it seems familiar to me. It tastes like it sounds like a testicle. Ew, that's a horrible guacamole. Anyway, yeah, maybe that's why it seems familiar. Maybe I have had it a long, long time ago and I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here, so thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.